Welcome to a brand new episode of Back Pass with Ras. We were supposed to have the three hosts on this show making history, but unfortunately, Joel had to pull out due to some family emergency. So, hopefully, everything works out well for you, Joel, who is actually our young blood. But nevertheless, on our show today, we still have our resident young man, upcoming politician, Kelvin Singh. How you doing, Kelvin?
I saw Noor Ali's reaction to that. He
Yeah,
burst out
man,
laughing.
it's
uh,
scary.
I'm always happy to be here. Was really looking forward to the three of us being in Backpass with Russ. But then again, we have a couple more shows coming up this week, so definitely we have some time to be together. And really happy to have the guests here today. I think Russ.
Yeah. So the guest today is someone who has had 41 caps for his national team, Singapore. I remember him as a speedy, skinny winger. So just very typical, fast, direct winger that I remember. If I'm not mistaken, the first time I saw him play was for Singapore at the 98 Tiger Cup against Malaysia, or it must have been a year after in the 99 SEA Games against the same team, of course, that I support. And he's also someone I have the fortune of getting to know in a personal and professional capacity, of course. And it's none other than Mr. Noor Ali. How are you doing? Apa
Uh,
khabar, Noor Ali?
I'm good. Khabar baik. 98 first game Vietnam lah.
Your first game was against Vietnam, so then it must have been
Yeah,
99 then.
yeah. 99 SEA Games, yes.
Yes.
Against Malaysia, first game. Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
And
I'm
you
good.
scored.
I'm good. And thank you so much for having me in the
Yeah,
show
it's a
lah.
privilege to have you on the show
Yeah.
because I understand you don't really appear on any podcasts.
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
First of many, I hope. First of many.
I mean, it's good to have the kind of healthy kind of podcast where everybody is neutral and positive about Singapore football or any part of the football all over the world. So I think that's nice to see that you guys are into that. So I mean, it's good to come into the show. Yeah.
All right, cool. So to get the show started, the first topic of discussion, we're going to talk about your S League career. We talk about the fondest memories you have as an S League player. But I'll just guide you a bit along the way. The first one, of course, in terms of success, you enjoyed a lot of success at Geylang United, as he was known then,
Yep.
and
Yep.
Singapore Armed Forces FC, SAFFC. So tell us about the success you enjoyed at both these clubs. Maybe start with the Geylang one first.
I think I was still playing in Tampines from 96 to 99 back then. But I might not have won a lot of trophies back then, but that was a very good opportunity for a young player like myself at that point of time, trying to prove myself. To be able to sign for big clubs like Geylang at that point of time, Warriors. And I think in the year 2000, I got an offer from Mr. Patrick Ang. He came out with an offer, but basically Tampines at that point of time offered me a very good contract. But I think it's also not down to money every single time. You sometimes want more than that. And yeah, I just want to establish myself as a player in the league and in the national team. So signing for Geylang was a very big thing for me at that point of time, because I start to grow into a better player, better person, because you see the true professional of football in Geylang, and I played under a lot of good coaches in Geylang that has helped me improve my ability, So I think Geylang was a big club back then. I managed to win trophies with them. Even when went to the AFC, we reached to the semi-finals of the AFC, I think in 2004. Of course, it was hard back then when I wanted to leave Geylang, but I mean that's football lah. Before I moved to Warriors, so but I enjoy my time. I enjoy my time during my time in Geylang, because that's where I started to play as a regular in the national team, because I was
Okay.
doing well in Geylang. So I think it's very important for players to understand. Sometimes it's not all about the dollar and cents. Sometimes it's about the opportunity you want to take moving forward lah. Yeah.
Okay. And at Geylang, you won the S League in 2001. What was that season like for you?
I think that was a fantastic team lah. I think, but the team was built in 2000 actually. Alan West was the coach back then. Zhang
Oh,
Jun was the assistant coach. So basically, we had a
that's Alan
majority of
West,
the
Sarawak coach, right? Last time.
Sarawak coach. Yeah. I think one of the best, nicest coach I worked with. It's a fatherly figure, and how he has changed me in terms of the game. Because usually last time, whatever 3-5-2 formation was a big thing. Everybody, I was a wing back, and then suddenly going to Geylang, and then you have an Australian coach coming in and wants to play a 4-4-2. The kind of the old system, just like normal wingers going up and down. Was not easy, but it was very nice that he wanted to develop players at that point of time. We didn't have a good result that year, decent result. I think we came in third, but that Jajung took over halfway through.
Okay.
So normal Korean, all the ginseng he bring out, and then go back to 3-5-2. So he start buying ginseng for us to run up and down. And it was a good team lah. Basically, I think the only we basically had only one player. I think Basri Halis only was into the squad, and majority of the players was there since 2000. I think maybe Lionel. We signed Lionel also that year. I think, but Lionel was a very young boy then. And it was a very good team. Very good team. You have Kadi at the back. You have two youngsters like Winston, Robin, centre back, myself, Azza. And then you have Brian Bothwell, one of the best foreigners I played with, Billy Bone, Alexander Duric, So I think it was a fantastic team, and of course we could have we went to the finals.
Yeah, we will talk about the finals later. Okay. So moving on then from Geylang, you went to SAFFC, and you won more titles there. So let's see what you got there. You won the league title twice. You did the double with SAFFC in 2007. So what was that team like in the SAFFC?
I think again that you see, that's the progression that at that point of time the club management knows what to do, because it's the same thing like Geylang. When 2000 when Alan West to the team, they keep majority of the team, and then they proceed with the team the following year and keep the team for 3-4 years down the road. It's the same to Warriors when I think Kim Paulson came in 2005. He rebuilt the team again. He signed a lot of new players. So basically, I had a contract with Geylang 1 more year to go in 2004. So basically, I was supposed to be in Geylang in 2005, but I decided to leave because I think it was very stagnant for me there, too many years, and I wanted a new challenge. So there was an agreement that Warriors bought my contract over, and then I went to Warriors that following year. And I think one of the best coach I've worked with, Kim Paulson. He's tactically superb. How he developed you as a player, and how organized he is. In terms of getting the team together. He's one of the coaches that I've learned a lot during my playing days. Janjung, I've learned a lot, but Janjung is more that Korean spirit. Up and down, you run, you batter, you tackle, slap the fella, get sent off. Kim Paulson is very different. He's more calm. Tactically sound. He knows what he wants to do. And that's good. So I think 2005 we came in second, and then I think we were knocked out in the semi-finals. But the team was took over by Peter Butler, I think, at the start of the season. And he had the same team, and he left like after 6-7 games, and Richard Bock took the team,
Okay.
So basically, you have Tasak Chaiman, you have Alexander Duric, you have Daniel Bennett, you have John Wilkinson. It's a team that should win the league for the next 3-4 years as long as they keep the team together. But I still love my Geylang 2001 team. I think this is a fantastic team, but the Geylang team it's a very different team. You play with the two best playmaker I've seen in the league. One is Brian Bothwell, one is Tasak Chaiman. And two of the best playmaker. I basically need to round down the flanks, send the ball in for Alex, cross the ball for Alex to miss, actually, not score. Okay, so because he could have scored 600 goals if you counted everything. So I think it was a fantastic team. It was a fantastic team, but I think the 2001 team is still it's still one of the best teams that I played with.
Okay. And then you went back to Geylang and won the Singapore Cup there as well. Moving on from Geylang and SAFFC, any other fond memories you have of your career in other clubs, at other clubs?
I think basically these two clubs. I mean, the after Geylang, when I won the cup, I think I was going to retire actually, but here and there I got offer from Woodlands just to play on a part-time basis. Then I went to Hougang, and then I came back came out from retirement in 2013. I think 2013, played halfway through the season. So the other day I retired at about 38. So. I mean, I have enjoyed my football career, lah. There's no turning back and say, I've regretted, should have done this, should have done this. No, I've not. I think it has been fantastic 20 over years of football career for me, lah. I've enjoyed every single day, lah. Yeah.
Okay. And in that time, like when you were at your peak, do you receive any offers to join any regional clubs in Malaysia or Indonesia, Thailand?
No, I think during my playing days, I think there was not our league is not well recognized at that point of time because we are getting players from Thailand, to come here and play, so the market is still with us at that point of time, bringing Thai players because we are still not there yet. I think the changes was when we start winning the Suzuki Cup. 3-4 years down the road, we start winning, and then that shows that there is some potential of our players start to move outside of, by then I'm already 30 plus, nobody's going to look at me,
Okay.
So they have younger generation down there. I don't have that opportunity. I would love to have, at that point of time, but I think I'm happy playing in the S League or Singapore Premier League, and now whatever they call it now. So
S League at the time.
S League, because they will change every 10 years. So, yeah, I've enjoyed my career so far. Yeah.
Okay, so from good memories, now we go to bad memories. Some of your worst moments of your S League career. Maybe you want to talk through them instead of me pointing out some.
I mean, definitely one of it is the Singapore Cup, which we lost the 8-0 against Home United. I think we were favourites to win, but that's football. It happens in the game. Every shot that that came in from the Home United players went in. Something that we cannot stop them on the day itself. And of course, frustration get into us. I know I got sent off. I can remember one more player. Off. Yeah, you remember that, huh? Okay, so
I did my research.
He did his research.
Yeah. I mean, I would not hide these kind of things, because at the end of the day, I mean, you learn from the mistakes that you make, But for me, that's one of the I wouldn't say worse lah. It's just that it's just part of the journey that I go through, and I think. It was a bit of a setback that we could have won the double, and then we end up getting trashed 8-0. I think besides that, in the league itself, I think of course the semi-finals in the AFC Cup, which we lost only to 1 goal to Shabab, I think, in Singapore. It's quite a waste because we actually gave them a very good run throughout the 90 minutes. We drew them 1-1, and then we came here 1-0. That was a bit of disappointment because I thought that team could have went into the finals of the AFC Cup and could have created history, because there was, I won't say a fantastic team Geylang had, but a very hardworking team that is willing to work. Yeah. And on a personal note, of course, I think, of course, nobody want to talk about this, but I'm okay with that. I think, of course, the suspension that I go through 1 year.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the worst. That is the worst part of my football career, and I was really at the bottom of my career, thinking of, whether I can come back to football, whether there's going to be a second chance, whether, it's my livelihood is gone, and I really suffered that whole year, through all the incidents. But it's a learning process for me also. It brings me back down to earth and start working back again. But I think what I went through the 1 year have made me more matured, and how many people can say this, that they went down and came up again and won titles, go back to play national team, because I was suspended in 2003, 2004, 2005. I went to captain AFC. The trust that they give me, especially Kernakop, he put the trust on me, put me as the captain of the team. I won the title, go to Geylang, win the title, and then actually, it's a learning process, also a very good learning experience for me. And I realized that, sometimes you don't appreciate what you have, and you tend to take things for granted, but something that when it happened to you and you realize that, oh shit, I cannot afford to lose this, man. This is something that I love doing, So I think it was a very good experience and a learning lesson for me. And then, from there on, I think I'm still on track.
Yeah, thanks for sharing what you learned from it as well, because I think it's important for our listeners to know what you learned from it. Everyone knows what you did, but what do you learn from it? I think it's
Because
important to know your experience.
That's the thing that when I've been in football for so many years, and and even I tell my kids, my two sons who are in the football, I say, education is very important, because that 1 year I just realized that, oh my God, if only I had studied and put in the effort there, and have some qualification, I could have just went back and do something I want to do. But no, I was so depending on football, as a livelihood, and I really want to come back to play football, So I think that's the most important thing. That's something that I learned, That's why I went back to study, took up a bit of engineering, I actually went back, So a lot of things that actually in that 1 year I actually managed to do so many things that besides football, I've never studied in my maybe 15 15 years which I got to study. I done it in 1 year, because I really think that I should do something right now to have something to fall back on one day, So I think that is something that I have that opportunity to do that. I think for the young generation, do it now, do it now. Have the papers, have the qualification, I mean, you still can play football or whatever sports you want to play, but at least you have something to back you up one day if anything happens,
Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's
sound
good, man.
advice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah. So before we move on to the next topic of discussion, just a quick rapid fire with you.
Yeah.
Gonna ask you, Geylang United or Singapore Armed Forces?
Wow.
Put you on the spot.
I mean, my blood is green, man. Geylang forever, man.
All right. I'm sure the Geylang fans listening
Yeah,
to this
listening in
will be
today.
cheering.
Yeah.
Okay, scoring a hat trick or a last minute winner?
Last minute winner.
Okay. Your captains, ID Iskandar or Indra Shadan?
Wow. I mean, I think it is Iskandar. Yeah.
Okay. ID Iskandar it is. Okay. Foreign players. Well, sort of. Tertsak Chaiman or Alexander Duric?
Wow, this one you correct. If I don't, brother, he's my best friend. No, if I don't say this, he will kill me upside down. I mean, both are good players, but I think I have great partnership with Alex. In terms of and we play longer. We play longer with each other since Geylang to Warriors. I mean, hands down, Alexander Duric.
Okay.
Yeah.
National Stadium Kallang, that means the old National Stadium or the new National Stadium?
I still love the old National Stadium, man.
Yeah.
I still love the National Stadium.
Same. Next one, your wife's mee goreng or the hawker's mee goreng?
Of course, she's standing in front of me right now.
Oh
Say,
my
you
God.
ask me this question. Of course, my wife mee goreng lah. How can be a hawker?
All married people will know this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to sleep well tonight, you better.
Yeah.
Say the right thing.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Favorite actors, Liam Neeson or Robert De Niro?
Oh, I love Liam Neeson lah. I watch most of his movie. Of course, I love Desert Washington too. But I think
Okay.
I still love Liam Neeson. Yeah.
All right. So in your team, would you like to have 11 young Noor Alis or just random young footballers to coach?
Brother, you really research about me, I would love to have 11 young Noor Alis with no red cards.
Oh, nice.
Okay? With no red cards.
Yeah, that's very important point. Yeah.
Yeah.
The final of final questions. Will Singapore reach the World Cup in 2034?
Yes.
I mean, of course, we had our plans and everything. We are trying to work something out. Of course, as to support Singapore football, definitely you want to see them in the World Cup one day, whether it's 2034 or maybe in another 10 years or 20 years. You love to see that happening. It's good to set the target. Important also that we have the right objective moving into the target. And I think I've been in the league since day one, from 2010 to now 2034.
Oh, yeah. Goal
So
2010, I remember.
Goal
Yeah.
2010, I remember
yeah,
that as
yeah,
well.
okay. So I mean, it's good to set the target. We only can work towards the target. Of course, you love to see Singapore in the World Cup, lah. Yeah, you
100%.
see, diplomatic, diplomatic.
Yeah.
And also, hopefully, Noor Ali is the one managing the
Alamak,
national team.
no, yeah,
2034, one day.
Okay, talking about your national team memories, we're going on to the next topic now. Your national team memories, your fondest memories winning the Tiger Cup.
Of course, winning the Tiger Cup is one of them, lah. Because I was a rookie at that point of time, and I only played one game throughout the whole tournament. It was against Vietnam during the preliminary round. But there was no expectations in the team. Everybody thought that we're gonna just go for a quick holiday, buy some baju kurung, and come back.
Baju kurung in
And
Vietnam.
In
yeah,
Vietnam.
yeah.
Oh,
Brother,
okay.
they are buying baju kurung to sell online now. You think what? So everybody thought that we're gonna go there, do some shopping, and come back. But at the end, we came back with the trophy. So it was nice to see. Especially you be able to see a team that nobody gave a chance, and look at the whole team who stays together, even the young ones. And they start working together to achieve what they want. So I think was a very good point also when everybody knows that it was very vibrant, very vibrant last tournament. So I think everybody push. I think he's a good coach. He has done well for us at that point of time, and he's a fighter also. So I think he brought that a lot into the team, and I think I was very thankful also because he gave me the opportunity. He called me out in an opportunity to play for the national team at that point of time, lah. So it was good to see the atmosphere of the team, lah. At that point of time. But I mean, there was a lot of good moments or memories for me, like scoring against your favorite team, in the SEA Games.
That's a good one.
Yeah, again, because
We also video 4-0.
I know. I
I knew that was going to come up as well.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I say it when I score, lah. If I don't score, I don't say, lah. So I think that was one of the better SEA Games, but I was really unlucky. Semi-final, I have to go back home because my daughter was sick, and then I didn't manage to play the semi-finals. I think it was against Thailand. Yeah, it was against Thailand, and then I mean, definitely playing against Japan in the Asian Cup qualifiers, in the World Cup qualifier. I mean, these are the teams that you want to play, as a national player.
Yeah.
So there was good memories for me during my time in the national team. I enjoyed most of the time I was in the national team because everybody wants to play for the national team, and whether you are given a chance to go out there and play or not. But for me, wearing the flag down there on your chest you feel that fantastic. The player out there, the 11 singing the Majula, even the players on the bench, you can feel fire up that you are ready to go. So I think that kind of thing, not many players or have that opportunity, to do it. I'm very lucky. I'm one of them, because I've never even considered myself to be in the national team because I was never a footballer. I was never a footballer. I was a late bloomer. So, but thank God, the opportunity came for me. So I've enjoyed my time in the national team during my few years in the national team.
All right, Kel.
Good thing you said that. He mentioned something which was really, really inspiring. It's like, those 11 players representing the country, singing the Majula, Singapura out together. Just wanted to ask you, in your opinion, is there any, so we all know how the Singapore team was in your time, before your time, and the national team was one of the highlights of our country. And then comparing it to now, I'm not saying the national team is bad now. It's still good. We did pretty well in the Tri Nations, winning both our games. But in your opinion, is there any similarity from your time, when you were playing for the national team and the current national team right now?
I mean, during my playing days, we still have that old players. We still, have that they rub shoulders with us in terms of the passion, because they don't usually. During back before the S League started, there was no salary cap. There's only the players are maybe earning from allowance, but the passion that they put into the game is totally different. So when the SPL starts to come in, and you have players like, you see players like Malik, like Kade, like Fandi, the passion that they have, how proud they are wearing the national jersey, just inspire you as a young player, because you don't think about what's going to be my salary or what's the bonuses back then. You just want to go out there and play for the national
And play
team.
some football, yeah.
And play some football, because this is very hard to compete back then. If you can be in the 20 in the national team, or that's you must be very thankful, because you don't know how many players out there. Even myself, I give you a very good example. For my position as a winger back then, got myself, got Ahmad Latif, got
Ahmad
Azhar
Latif.
Baksin, got Hafizat, got Imran. Got Ali Imran. There's so many. There's like every club has good wingers, in their team. And there's only 2-3 slots for the national team,
Yeah.
So basically now, if you look at the national team, you can just name who the wingers that is in the team, So there is something that is a bit worrying with the current national team, there's a different thing with pressure and with no pressure.
Okay.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Last time you have big players who can play with pressure, even international tournament. If they go out there, they can play with pressure, But we're not going to talk about the friendly games and whatever cup that we play. It's a tournament where you just go out there, play and see the players. But when there's something at stake, that's where our national team players have to step up, because we know this is different. There's something that you go out there to win. Like the Suzuki Cup, like the Asian Cup qualifiers. That's something that we always want to go as far as we can. So that's the difference between the two set of players right now. And I don't blame the players, the current players right now, because if I'm playing right now, I put myself. If I want to be in the national team, is because I'm waiting for the right offer to come from overseas, or maybe another club to get a bigger contract. And I understand that, because it's a short period of time. But for myself back then, I don't think that way. I just want to play for the national team, and I go back to club and I perform, and the club pays me a salary. So it's a totally two different thing. Maybe you still have maybe some players who are still like that. But the passion back then is a bit more. It's a bit more driving lah. Yeah.
It's a good thing you said that, because I think we all know, and let's be open about this. A bulk of the national team comes from one team right now.
Yeah.
So these guys are probably teammates in the club level, and also they just travel to the national team. Okay, so Noor Ali, let me just put you on the spot right now. Let's say you are given the Singapore top job, Singapore coach job. What changes would you see, or what changes would you do in terms of squad selection? What will you do? Let's say you're given a top job.
Definitely first thing, you got to pick the best, the players that has been performing in the league lah. That's one thing for sure lah. And we know there's only limitations on players that we have to select, and currently we know also there's only one club who has all the players there. And the only worrying part is because it's very hard to motivate the players. Like, okay, for example, if I'm a head coach with Geylang right now, how or other coaches, they might be feel frustrated, because if you have a player who is actually playing week in, week out and doing well, but you are calling up someone who is actually playing only 20-30 minutes in a game, but who is playing in the top club in Singapore, I mean, that's the only worrying part.
Yeah.
You know, so if for me, I always believe in giving a chance and a fair chance to players who perform in the league. You know, because it's not the national team fault if LCS want to sign all the players.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but the selection process, I think, must be in the right way, because then it motivates other players to actually come out and say, hey, I have a chance to actually play in the national team. You know, even the younger ones. You know, so I think for me, I'll be fair across the board, and you know, because if you decide to sign for LCS, then you must fight for your place to play at a club level.
Right.
You know, so if you are playing, then you'll be in the national team. So I give you a very good example. Let's say Gabriel Cook is one of the best players, best wingers in the league. You know,
Yes.
if you're out through injury, we understand. But if you are out sitting on the bench, not playing 10 games, then you still part in the national team. Then then
No, I get what
you
you're
know,
trying to say. Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
then it's not right in terms of the selection process, lah.
And you have like the S League this season, or shall I say the SPL this season?
SPL down.
Sorry, man. The SPL this season, it's like fireworks. It's like every team up against it. I watched the Young Lions game, and they are actually not bad as well. You know,
Don't
they are
touch
playing
on
good
that.
football. No,
Ah,
I mean,
it's
like,
okay, it's okay. No worries, no worries. Yeah.
no, it's just, or could be anything. Hougang. Every team, including Geylang. I think Geylang beat LCS 1-0. Who would have thought that? So there's a lot of good players, like you said, coming up from the SPL. So well said, well said. I really hope one day you are considered for the Singapore coaching role. With regards to that, let's just stop and we go with a second rapid fire for you. So it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to ask you a question, and it's just you're going to give me just maybe one memory or one name. There's no two names, no nothing. Yeah. So
Okay,
fast one.
okay.
So favorite teammate,
Alex
Alex. Best goal you scored.
against
Oh.
Malaysia 2-1.
Raz, that one's for you, man. most memorable game.
Wow, most memorable game. Wow, this is a hard one. If you ask me against Malaysia, the 2-1, because that was my first actually international
Goal.
debut, like the whole game, and I think play against the rival team. I think against Malaysia in the 99 SEA Games. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Favorite coach.
Favorite coach, Kim Paulson.
Kim Paulson. Okay, all-time favorite player, could be anything, anyone.
Ryan
All-time
Giggs.
I knew
Ryan
it.
Giggs. Ooh, that was a good one. All-time favorite club.
Oh, Man United lah.
Yeah. You my man. You said Liverpool, I'll end the stream right now.
Whatever it is, still Man U.
Still United. We are United all the way. Yes. So thank you so much for that. So we spoke about your playing career. I mean, you had such a long and wonderful playing career, and then we also touch upon your national team career, which is also quite fantastic. So overall, a great playing career you have, national team, club level, overall. I'm going to touch on. No problem. I'm going to touch on your coaching career now, your SPL coaching career. Being an ex-player and being such a decorated player, how does that help you now as a manager? Or coach, head coach.
Coach, yeah.
Head
In
coach, head
Singapore,
coach.
it's
Yeah,
coach.
Singapore is
Head
confusing. Head coach.
Yes, actually, when I started, actually I'm quite young as a head coach lah, because I only retired at 38, and then now basically I'm only 9 years into coaching at the highest level, and I only started coaching first team in 2017. You know, people might see me in the game for very long, but actually in coaching, I'm very new into coaching. You know, and I'm still doing my pro diploma now. You know, so. But for me, it has been a good learning journey for me, because being a player and a coach is two different things. last time when you get sent off because you are angry, you know, and then now when my players get sent off, I say, shit, man. That's how my coach feel, you know.
Karma, karma.
Yeah, karma. So the thing is, it's different. I was very when I started coaching, because of my temperament, you know, and my demands, you know, I was very strict, and you know, I'm a very straightforward in terms of I want to tell my players what I want. But as it goes along, I tend to cool down a bit, because it's a different kind of managing players, because you put yourself, you don't want, as a national player or as a senior player, you don't want your coaches to come out and shout at you or tell you something in front of everybody, you know. But you sometimes need to put that across to everyone, you know. For me, he has to start from day one. You have to put across to everyone what the message that you want, or what you want from the team. You must demand from day one. That is something that, you know, as a coach, for me, is very important. Is very important, because you don't realize that when last time when you were a player, when the coach says like, "Noor Ali, I want this, and you go like, shut up lah, you know, inside your heart, you say, shut up lah, you know, you're talking cock this fella. No, but you know, now as a coach, you realize, because it's not easy. You see, when I went to Japan, that's where I learned a lot through the process, because it's a different kind of culture, different kind of coaching methods. They are very detailed, they are very organized in terms of they are doing things. But it's very hard for us to bring that into Singapore, you know, because we cannot manage the players in the way we want to. You know, it's very different, especially the younger ones. Down there, when I was coaching back the under 18, they stay together, they study together, they eat together, and they play together. You know, so it's easier for you to monitor them and bring the best them to bring their best performance every game. You know, so it's much more easy for me, and I basically stayed with the players. You know, now it's different. You know, because with the group of players that we have, you don't know what they do once they go back home. The food they eat, you know, how
Whether they go coffee shop and packet one coffee shop.
confirm 100%. I tell you, I can see how they break fast already. It's scary. Okay, so yeah, so that's the thing that I think as a coach, I think it's very hard to manage everything in Singapore. You know, because at the top level, you basically have a team to manage this.
Right.
So, like in Japan, for me as an under 18 coach, I'm the head coach. I got assistant coach. I got video analyst. I got physio. I got I got doctors. This is under 18 I'm talking about. You know, so down here is very different. It's very different. You know, so sometimes you are trying to get things moving, but it's not easy. So sometimes it becomes a one-man show for you. So it's totally different being a player and being a coach for me lah, you know, because you see, the one aspect of me that everybody know, you know, when I'm standing during game day bench, they say better be careful with this guy, you know. you know. But you see, the problem is all communication. It's about communication. You know, I have not been sent off as a head coach, you know, because I don't go out there and scold the referee. It's just a question. I have a right, you know, he's just asking something. There's nothing wrong of doing that, you know. So if that is wrong, then I don't know. You cannot communicate between the referees, the four officials. Sometimes you just communicate, nothing wrong with that. You just want to know. Sometimes you might just pick up something and you learn from there, you know. Because I give a very good example. I lost to Young Lions 4-1. But I thought the referee did a very good game. I think her name is Abi Rami. She did a very good game. You know, and after the game, I went to her, shake her hand, and say, Abi, good game. But I lost the game. But she did a good game. You know, and what's wrong with that? So it's the same thing when I see something wrong, I ask. You know, so if they call it decorated or, you know, or fire up or fiery Noor Ali or I don't know, whatever they're going to call, I mean, that's football, man. You make the league interesting. You know, I don't go out there fighting, punching, slapping players or, you know, or cursing the referees. No, I don't do that. You know, you are telling me you got Jose Mourinho. He will not shut up the whole game, man. he's not a top coach. He's a top coach also. He does
yeah,
things that you have seen. Even Jurgen Klopp, man, you have
yeah,
seen him get angry.
yeah,
But
yeah.
come on, that's football. That's what you need in the league to make things interesting. You want me to sit down and just watch the game? Then might as well I stay home.
Well said. Well said.
So
You're also coaching your son
Yeah.
yeah,
in
yeah.
your team. How is that like? Like being talk to me about that process.
I mean, it's very hard, man. It's very hard to coach your son. Sometimes you know.
He can't tell you it's like, Dad, don't tell me that, man.
You still listening to this?
No. I still remember. Yeah, I still remember we played against I think Albrecht. So I wanted to I was about to bring him in the last 20 minutes. So I didn't know he was standing right behind me. Then I was going like, Iran! Then the coaches say like, hey, no, he's behind you. I said, yeah, yeah. Then after that, one of the coaches said, you shouted like he's your son at home. So I said, yeah.
Too used to it, right?
Too used to it lah. Then he just stunned and look at me, he just looked because he was right behind me and he stunned and look at me, So that's the hardest part. And he know how strict I am at home, and the scary part with him is I don't even dare to even scold him because I don't want to bring his confidence down.
Yeah.
So I
true.
use other coaches to talk to him, so that the coaches can actually explain to him because he's so afraid of me. Even when I tell him something, sometimes he's thinking whether this guy is, being sarcastic towards me or just telling me, So, but nice also to see your son grow because Ilhan was not into football.
Oh,
He started playing football only in secondary school.
Oh.
So after that he grew, and I actually, to be honest, even he's my son, I didn't even thought that he will actually make it into the SPL team. Because when he's 17, 18, when I look at him, I always advise him to study. He wants to play football, but I tell him study because as a player itself, being there, I know his level where he can go. But the surprising thing is the boy just keep on improving and improving. So definitely he has that Noor Ali factor in him lah.
Is he hearing this? He definitely should hear this.
No. Yeah, so he keeps working hard. He doesn't give up. I think he was just say, I'm gonna prove wrong. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
That's
But
that's good.
yeah. But again, I go back to this again. Study, get your qualification. And make sure you do well in your academics lah. Yeah. Of course, it's not easy having a son. I got another son in another 17 lah. That is the bigger head. He's playing under 17 in Geylang.
Okay.
But both is studying.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear that.
Okay, wait. One fun fact before you can continue. His son Ilhan has been named after Mansis Ilhan of Turkey.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because back then in 2002, Ilhan Mansis was the favorite whatever striker, Turkey striker. And he was a good-looking one.
Yeah.
So
Hakan Şükür.
Hakan
Şükür, correct. Yeah, but Hakan, I cannot name him Hakan Şükür lah. Sounds very vulgar lah, So I took Ilhan lah. Yeah, he was born in 2002 lah. So
that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So you know that lah.
I asked you what?
Oh, yeah. You see,
off the records.
Off the records, yes.
No, on record already.
Now it's on record. Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah,
But it's a good story. It's a good story to have. So Noor, speak to me about your coaching style. So you were known as the winger, bombing up and down the flanks, crossing the ball. For Alexander Duric, you said barely scored when you were crossing the ball to him. I'm just joking, Alex. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry. But so how would you describe your coaching style right now? We have seen Geylang play. We kind of know what Geylang is all about, but maybe you can just briefly describe your coaching style.
I love to play that possession-based football. I love to keep the ball from the back, and then bring all the way up to the midfield third, and then slowly build up the attack into scoring goals lah. But that's something that I've learned in Japan actually. A lot of things in terms of how football is being played. But it's not easy actually to bring it to Singapore because technically you have to be very sound. Tactically you must understand. Because there involves a lot of rotation, a lot of movement. But you see, it's so important that we understand it's a development process for these players. Because Geylang is not going to go out there and win the title. you know. But I'll be happy if I develop a few players, and oh, I'll be happy to develop players, and see some players in the national team. I'm in my last 5 years, I've seen Bill and Harit in the under 23. Now Kiran and Danish is called up in the under 19. And then Amy in the national team. Christopher in the national team. These boys are all part of Geylang. At one point of time during. So it's good to see that these players actually grow and become better players. Because it's different if I'm a club like LCS or maybe Hougang who's fighting for the title. It's a different ball game. I will approach the game differently. At this point of time, as much as I love playing from the back and everything, I still focus on trying to help to develop these players. Because this is their rice bowl. If they don't improve, they don't get better. You cannot help them to change their life. I cannot think for myself only as a coach. Oh, I just want to go out there and win and get the 3 points. Yes, I will do that when the day the club tell me, no, go and sign Ronaldo, Messi, or whatever, and go and win the title.
That would be quite a watch, Ronaldo playing for Geylang International.
I mean, like, this is something that, for me as a coach, I'm not worried about other coaches or whatever they want to do. For me, at the club level, like Geylang right now, it's important to help to develop the players, because most of my players like Faisal, they are 26, some are 27, they still can be part of the national team. Kiran is only 17, Ilhan is only 20. You got so many young players in the team that, if I'm going to sit down there and tell the boys, just defend, get the ball up there, just go and get the goals, cannot come back and defend, I'm not helping them to progress here. And can the club progress that way? I don't think so. They can progress also. So for me as a coach, it's also important to help these players to change, their aspect of thinking on how football should be played and how actually they can improve themselves to go to another level. Because they are in the game. You must help them. We must help them. If not, then there's no purpose of giving these young players an opportunity to go out there and play. Because you want to keep that positive football. Why is the national team playing this kind of football? That is something that at club level you try to help and not maybe play the same football, but at least you try to educate the players that this is football playing in the national team, and at least you have a chance to play in the national team, because not everyone can follow that. That's why I say this is my mindset, and I love to play the football that way, and I love to help players to develop players as much as I can. I think this is very important. Like I say, one day maybe Geylang will come to me and say, no, sign the players, let's go for the title next season. Hopefully
I think frankly, you did sign a striker, Sime Zuzul. I think that guy is like, did you sign him with Alexander Duric in mind? Like, his same kind of build, same target man.
I mean, you see, this is important as a player. When people talk about Sime Zuzul, or people talk, they must understand one thing. I've signed Sime Zuzul because of what player he is. He can give you goals and and strong and everything. But they also must understand, you cannot only have Sime Zuzul. You must have players around him. Alexander Duric scored 300 goals because in his career he has players around him. You like cannot score 300. Yeah, like Noor Ali, one of them. Okay, you have Tersak Shaiman, you have myself, you have John Wilkinson, you have good wingers, you have good centre mid. Your job is, you cannot depend on Zuzul as a one-man show. He's trying his best out there. He knows a very young team. He's trying to put the team together. He's trying to get the goals for us. He's working hard. But if you put good players around Zuzul, he definitely give you more goals. So for me, I always think about how can I improve the players, and of course, people can say result is very important in the first team. Yes, I totally agree with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you are at the first team football, but at the same time, you also have to look at what you have first, and understand that this is what you have and this is what you're going to work with. So, as a management, you go out there, you set targets, you set what goals. As a leader, as a head coach, I set my own vision. This is what I want. It's up to the club whether what they want. For me, I have a vision down here. I want to focus on that vision. Develop the players, keep on playing the football we want to play. The results will come if you keep on being positive and just keep on working hard. I always believe in that.
100%. 100%. So you played for so many managers throughout your career. is there anything you do differently compared to them, or you maybe you take some skills from certain
you pick up
managers,
some from
you
them.
pick up some skills, and then you merge it, and then talk to me about that.
I mean, I've worked with so many managers. Every one of them, I've taken a bit from it. I think I give a good example. You have Zhang Jung, who is a good motivator of the game. He knows how to motivate you. He knows how to bring the best of you. He doesn't need to coach. He just need to shout at you and just encourage you. And then just buy you some Korean jerseys, ginseng. And then you will play for him. Kim Paulson is very different. Kim Paulson is very organized, very detailed. Is very technically and tactically sound. What he wants. He gives you every detailed instructions on what you need to do every game. So that's something that I learned a lot from him. Of course, along the road, I played for players like Eddie Iskandar. Also, he was a former player, and then former captain Singapore. He played. At the same time, I look at him and see how he managed the players. We know he's a very soft-spoken guy. How he managed the player, how he talked to the players. So every coach, basically, whatever. Since when I started 1996 in Tampines until 1999, okay, basically I have the late Habib, who is a great tactician, Hussein Ajunaid. Then I have the next three coaches who come in only fitness. So the first thing you come, run.
Pass the bip test.
Run. Pass the bip test. So you got last time got no bip test, so we still need to run. So, but you think back again, I was thinking back again, if I have not done that run, or put the hard work down there, I would not have lasted until I'm 38, because, so the thing is, every coach down there plays a very important part, because players don't realize that actually the hard work is being put earlier on, so that you can stay injury free throughout your, when you late 30s, because that's the dangerous part, so touch wood, I've not gotten any injury during my playing days, not even now, so better not. So I think it's down to the hard work that you put earlier. So all coaches, I had a few fights with the coaches also, because of certain way that they manage me as a player. I have a go with that. I have nothing to hide. I have a big argument with Mike Wong, my coach back then. But we are in talking terms right now. Now he realized. Now he come to me and say, now right? You are a coach. So that's the thing. I left Geylang because I didn't agree with the coach back then. It was Scott O'Donnell because of certain things that we cannot work on, and we decided to move on. But that's football for me. It's not that, it's how you want to take it professionally. I can still see you outside and say hi, because it's totally different when you are in workplace and you are outside. This is the context that we as locals need to bloody learn, because when you are at work, you are at work. When you're outside, you are outside, because it's two different things when you see me as a head coach and you see me as a friend.
Right.
It's the same thing. You see, if I work, I and Ras also know each other through some working. We know when to joke, and we also know when we sit down on the table and we do things and we discuss. But this is something that we must understand, because if I tell you off now, the minute you come out here, it's gone. Noor Ali, then Noor Ali's name become there's something behind. So that is something that for me I don't think the negative part is all up to the coach that I played for, because that's the way they want to do things. For me, I'll just take the positive part. It might be 2% or 5%. It's still useful for me to use during my coaching career. I think one of the coaches, I won't say I played for him, but he was an assistant coach and he was even my instructor back then. Iskandar, I think he's the way he carried himself and his personality. Some people will like and some people won't like him. But at the end of the day, he know what he wants to do. So I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you cannot please everybody, right, in life.
Of course, man.
If you do it. Okay, I just have to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-match ritual that you do before games? Either as a player or as a manager. I think certain players have certain things. They wear their socks before the game. I don't know, like they sleep with their jersey on. I don't know. Do you have anything like that?
I don't have that kind of
Or
pre-match
something
ritual or whatever.
something that you need to have, like
I
maybe.
just make sure I don't change my routine on the
Okay.
day itself. If I go out, if I used to go out for game day, because it just plays in your mind, and you become, take the whole day because thinking like, oh shit, I should have worn my socks on the right first, or I should have gone out with my right leg instead of my left leg,
Yeah. Or like the triple jump, you come in, you
yeah,
must like
because
you see
correct.
players hopping on one leg, on the other leg,
Because if you lose the game, you will not think how you lose the game. You will think that shit, I didn't do my pre-match ritual. Then you must put that in the report. In the report, you must say I forget my pre-match ritual. That's why I lost.
That's why we lost. Next
That's why
time,
we
please
lost the
remind
game.
me.
Yeah, please remind me. Send me an email out. So for me, I don't have anything, but I make sure that throughout the process, it must be smooth. You always have that feeling, whether as a player or as a coach, you have that feeling whether you feel, you feel good or you don't feel good. You always have that feeling, and that one, only recently, I think, I don't know, maybe because of the fasting mind, I don't know why before the game I feel like I feel like vomiting every single time. I've never had that kind of feeling. It's just maybe the old age catching up.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that's happening lah, but my daughter was telling me maybe it's anxiety attack. I say anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm 20 over years in the game. What anxiety you talking about? So but I don't have any lah. I don't have any. Yeah.
It's good to know. Good to know. Any special message for your hardcore ultra Geylang fans who have been supporting you since you were playing? Any special messages for them?
I mean, I've been with the club for so many years since playing days. I've seen a young girl which was wearing a pom-pom skirt, all the way now still supporting Geylang, and Uncle Abang Nafi who used to see me play, and now still at the stadium watching me in the stands, and definitely the Ultra Eagles who are there every single game. I mean, thank you for your support. I think you guys have been fantastic. I understand the frustration that all of you going through with the team and the club at this moment. I hope you guys understand. Be patient with the process. It's a very new team, and keep on supporting us. Hopefully we'll turn things around in the second round. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Russ.
Nice. Okay. The final question.
Final question.
Your favorite football managers. That means international.
International.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to love Jose Mourinho lah. That's why I mentioned him earlier on.
Okay.
But at this moment, Jurgen Klopp lah.
Jurgen Klopp, huh?
Yeah.
Rock and roll football.
It's very hard to do that consistently wherever you go lah. It's very hard to do that. I mean, of course, Pep plays that beautiful football that everybody wants to see and everything, but I think as a coach, I don't see the game that way, but I love watching how it's very hard to say this, but I just love watching Liverpool play.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's totally class. How he has done it in Dortmund and then he went to Liverpool. That's pure class lah. You know that he has a way of doing things and he gets the thing doing. To do that pressing for 90 minutes in a game, our players will get cramp after 60 minutes. I tell you. That's something, especially at 5:30. That one I give 30 minutes. 5:30.
30 minutes. Pancit.
Yeah. I think Jurgen Klopp lah.
All right.
Okay. Nothing for Sir Alex, huh?
Oh, of course lah. I mean, he's all-time favorite lah. I mean,
He's the godfather, man.
He's the godfather lah. If you talk about Sir Alex back then, definitely lah. The only thing you love about Sir Alex is because how he managed that superstars team that he had. That is the hardest part of doing it, and you don't play around with him. You may be the best or the star player of the team. It's time for you to go. But for him, it's different. You look at him as how he managed the whole team. But you talk about football-wise, I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the best lah. But one of the best I've seen. Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, your memories, and your insights as well. Experience, everything, your wisdom. Noor Ali, taking the time out as well to speak to us. We thank you for that,
No
and
worries. Yeah.
wish you all the best in the season. Of course,
Yeah.
we also are part of a different SPL club, but still we wish you all the best.
But I told you in this show we are neutral,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean that's football. That's football.
That's
yeah.
right.
We'll see you around in the stadiums, I would say.
Can sure.
All right,
Next
take
one,
care.
Next one.
Yeah,
Thank you,
next
thank
one.
you.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Take care. Have a nice day,
Take
guys.
care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
nice
Thank you.
evening.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye. Ciao.
Signing out. Peace.
Bye.